Hi Cindy and Jason, thank you for your responses to my post. First I'll start by just talking a little to Cindy. Cindy, like you, I did the full circle thing as well and came to the same conclusion that church and state must be separated for democracy to work, at least representative democracy, and this doesn't mesh well with the Islamic faith. So I can see how somebody would say, or anyone would say, you know, democracy in Islam is just not going to work. But then I thought about it a little more, and I don't know how to put it eloquently, and I sure didn't in my first or my original post. But again, I have to come back to that new generation of Muslim. They've been inundated with modernization and worldly non-Muslim modernization, whether it be through TV, radio, internet, or simply our troops being in their countries. They've picked up a lot from those guys and gals that are over there. I know I have friends who are over there, and they say that the interaction with the Muslims on a daily basis is more than you would ever imagine. So that may be an extremely impactful introduction to modernization. They are not the Islam that they were before modernization began creeping in the early 20th century. They're just as in touch and just as connected to the world as many of their American counterparts or European counterparts. In my parent post, I talked about the new generation of Muslim, and this is where I kind of pick up on Jason's response as well. And Jason, I appreciate your breakdown of formative years and understand that completely, but I have to admit I really wasn't thinking about the extremely young generation, like under 25 generation. I was referring more to like the 25 to 30 or even 30 to 40 age range. Which, when applying your theory of being rooted in tradition, makes my argument almost null and void, because obviously they were raised definitely with that historic and religious background. But just for argument's sake, humor me for a minute. I would like to or I would think that Muslims in the 25 to 40 age range are quite a lot alike their American counterparts, of course rooted in beliefs and raised to believe one way or another, rooted in religion, but, and this is a really big but, I believe they have a certain level of tolerance that their parents and grandparents would never have had, and quite possibly would even view as inappropriate, or in some instances borderline apostate. Take Christian Americans in that age range. Not trying to start an all-out debate here on any other subject, but aren't American Christians or proclaimed Christians quite a bit more tolerant than parents and grandparents were? Do self-proclaimed Christians in this age group not demonstrate tolerance on a level that would turn our grandparents over in their graves? I can't count the peers and friends who claim to live by strict Christian values with which they were raised, who accept a woman's right to choose, or who believe that gay marriage is wrong but would still afford the same marital rights to gay couples, such as health insurance and death benefits and things like that. So the tolerance level that's seen in the Christian world, who's to say that it's any different with Muslims? I don't know a lot about Muslim culture, which I'm sure you will definitely see as the semester goes on. And I only have one friend who was born a Muslim but has now converted to Christianity. So I don't have the background or the knowledge that some of my classmates have or may have. But it just makes sense to me that modernization and toleration would not just be a closed idea to Christians or to westernized peoples. I think that the Muslims are going to be modernized and tolerant to things that their parents and grandparents certainly would not have been tolerant to. And this modernization and toleration could quite possibly open the doors to democratic forms of government in the Middle East that otherwise seem totally shut. I don't think that Muslims or Islamic faith-based people are so holistically ingrained into their religion that they don't have the same desires as our generation does, or as the Christian generation of the same age does. I think that they want to be integrated into the world and be part of history, and not a bad part of history seen as religious radicals that denied change and disappeared on the world stage. I think that they want freedom and democracy, and I believe that if they want it badly enough, they're going to find that religious loophole or evolve through tolerance to accept what they must in order to have it. Maybe I'm just a dreamer, but I believe the hunger's there, and eventually the rest of it will just be history. Thanks.